Hey guys, so I wanted to continue with my series on the introduction to other metagames, and for this episode I will be talking about Almost Any Ability. Now, Almost Any Ability is one of my favorite other metagames to play, and it was very popular back in Gen 6 and is now making a comeback in Gen 7. And so yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about it next. So what is Almost Any Ability? So Almost Any Ability is an OU based format, and the main mechanic change is that now Pokemon now have access to basically almost any ability. It's that simple. However, like some abilities are banned to preserve metagame balance, with examples being Contrary, Simple, Speed Boost, Huge Power, stuff like that. These abilities could be used on practically any mon and make them just too OP, too unbalanced. So rather than banning all these specific mons, the council decides just to ban an ability that's broken on many users. However, some Pokemon are also banned as well, with examples being such as Shedinja, Pheromosa, Slaking, Regigigas, and Archeops. And these Pokemon are banned because they use non-broken abilities, which put them over the edge. So let's say an example would be Sturdy Shedinja. Sturdy in itself is not really broken or like overpowered in a sense, but when combined with Shedinja, it could be practically such a problem to face due to the fact that the only way your opponent will be able to defeat Shedinja would be through let's say status or like indirect damage basically, or like mold breaker attacks. That's the only way. Or another example would be like Sheer Force Pheromosa, where Sheer Force in itself is not too OP, but Pheromosa could just use that ability and wreak havoc alongside other abilities such as, let's say, Dazzling, or even Protein was very common, but Protein is kind of iffy on it if it's broken itself, but I won't get into that now. So this means that the metagame is filled with many unique and creative combinations. This is basically due to the sheer variety. I have new sets that some Pokemon can run, and some Pokemon now become viable due to them having access to like so much better abilities. So instead of like talking about key metagame Pokemon and threats that you should account for, like I did in my last video, with almost any ability, I would kind of wanted to talk about key metagame abilities that, like, let's say abilities that define the metagame in general and abilities that you should run, and I would basically run down which Pokemon use these abilities the best. So the first ability I wanted to talk about here is Poison Heal. Now, Poison Heal is an infamous ability due to the fact that it heals 12% of the user's HP per turn, which is insane if you think about it. That's double leftovers, and also kind of makes the user kind of immune to other statuses, really, because you are toxic. So usually you would run Poison Heal with a toxic orb, let's say, which helps like physical attackers bypass burns and stuff like that. Now, I listed 3 main Poison Heal users that you should account for. The first one being Zygarde. Now, Zygarde is a great Poison Heal user due to the fact that like in standard play, it doesn't really gain recovery or have recovery moves. So now with Poison Heal, it kind of alleviates that in a sense. The first set I mentioned is like especially defensive, like kind of trapping set with 1,000 waves. And basically the main goal of this set is just to trap the opponent with 1,000 waves and just toxic stall them out until they die, basically. And with Poison Heal, it becomes much easier to accomplish this in combination with Protect. The next Zygarde set is a more offensive set with Dragon Dance and 1,000 Arrows. Now, 1,000 Arrows is a move that Zygarde gained this generation and made it an even more immense threat than it was in Generation 6. Due to 1,000 Arrows kind of being like a basically no drawback move, it hits every Pokemon in the game due to, you know, it bypassing flying immunity as well. So that's why this set is very good. Another notable Poison Heal user is Snorlax, due to the fact that, yet again, it now in standard play it doesn't gain access to reliable recovery moves, and now it could abuse Poison Heal with its stab move and facade, which gets boosted by being toxic. And not with this, it could abuse a curse set, and which is nice. Like as I mentioned before, it could bypass burns due to it always being poisoned. And this set could really just steamroll teams if one does not carry like a specific counter word, such as, let's say, Skarmy with Whirlwind is a pretty good option, or like Roar, Suicune sometimes, phasing in general. But besides that, really, Snorlax can just destroy many teams without proper answers. The final Pokemon I wanted to mention is Tapu Fini. Now, Tapu Fini is a great Calm Mind user, like yet again, and the trend here is that these mons don't really have reliable recovery in standard play, and Poison Heal just complements them so well due to this. So with Tapu Fini, it can now run a nice Calm Mind set with Taunt, and like with Snorlax, could just like steamroll teams without dedicated answers really, because due to its great natural bulk and with a Calm Mind boost, it just becomes a menace to face. Other examples of Poison Heal users include stuff like Suicune, Manaphy, Diancie, stuff like that. They all could abuse Poison Heal quite well. The next ability I want to talk about is Regenerator, which again gives Pokemon that do not have reliable recovery moves in standard play an option to basically gain semi-reliable recovery. Now, the most notable Regenerator user this gen is the new Pokemon in Regenerator. Now, Regenerator is great at using Regenerator in combination with Assault Vest due to its phenomenal defensive typing in Steel and Fairy. And it can basically become a great bulky pivot that hits quite hard with its 130 special attack, and could hit hard with Flare Cannon and pivot out with Volt Switch, and gaining Regenerator HP every time it switches out, which makes it like such a threat to deal with and can be quite hard to take down at times. Another great Regenerator user is Doublade, and Doublade is a great Regenerator user due to it again possessing a great Steel Ghost defensive typing, and it can become a fearsome Sword Stance Sweeper due to this, as it could switch in on many threats in the current metagame, such as Snorlax or like Buzzhole or stuff like that. It has just a great defensive typing that allows it to have many setup opportunities. Now, another Regenerator user is Celesteela, and it's a great Regenerator user due to it again possessing a great defensive typing. This is the trend here in Steel and Flying, and it can become a nuisance again just to take down due to Leech Seed recovery and it pivoting out, gaining Regenerator HP. Other examples of Regenerator users include Alolan Muck, Chansey, Landorus T, and Stunfisk, but I'll let Lax Lapras explain that. A new ability that was introduced in Sun and Moon, and an ability that kind of made sound waves through almost any ability metagame, is Fluffy. Now, Fluffy is in a sense a sort of pseudo fur coat, and if you don't know what fur coat does, it increases the user's defense stat by 2, so doubles the defense stat basically. Now, Fluffy, it doesn't work kind of like that, but it doesn't work exactly like that, but it kind of works like that. That's what I meant to say. Now, Fluffy basically decreases the damage of physical contact moves, or just contact move in general, by half, but increases the user's fire weakness. It's like, I think it doubles it, so it makes the user weak to fire basically. So now this ability is so great as it allows Pokemon just to become like defensive behemoths, really. Like, it really allows the user just to like not be taken down so easily by physical attacks. And two notable users of this ability include Suicune and Chansey. Now, Suicune again could abuse this ability with a defensive Calm Mind set due to it basically being able to set up Calm Minds easily due to it having this like Titanic pseudo defense stat, really. And yeah, it could just sweep teams if if it gets chances to set up. Another great Fluffy user is Chansey, as it can now alleviate its abysmal defense stat with Fluffy, and can now be quite difficult to take down even with physical attacks in combination with Eviolite. So this set is great on stall teams. Other examples that abuse Fluffy include stuff like Skarmory and Zapdos. Now the last kind of like the most notable ability I wanted to talk about were 8 abilities. Now in Generation 6, 8 abilities were such a force to be reckoned with. They were really the most centralizing abilities in 8, in almost any ability. And they kind of made a comeback in Generation 7, but they're not seen as often due to the power nerf of 8s. Basically last gen, 8 moves used to give a 1.3 power boost alongside stab, but now they only give a 1.2 times power boost. But still, like 8s still hit quite hard. And the three most notable examples I included here was first Dragonite with Aerolate. Now Dragonite could become such like a difficult mon to stop due to it having like now stab, flying, extreme speed, and it could basically just sweep teams really without like a steel type or just something that resists flying due to the priority extreme speed. It could run either like a Choice Brat set or like a setup Dragon Dance set. They're both really good. The next example I wanted to talk about was Tapu Koko, who could run again a nice pixely Choice Band set, because in standard play Tapu Koko doesn't really gain access to physical fairy type attacks, which it kind of hinders it because it has like a decent 115 attack stat, but it can't really abuse it that much in standard play. But in almost any ability it can, and it could run a very good Tapu Choice Band set. The last example I wanted to talk about was Current Black, who could run a Refrigerate set. And yet again, in standard play, Current Black doesn't really have access to good physical ice type attacks, but in almost any ability, now it could run Refrigerate and basically fire off these powerful normal ice type physical attacks, and can become such a pain to take down. Like really, Current Black is insane, and I wouldn't be surprised if it gets banned. But anyways, other examples of 8 ability users include Genesect, Zygarde, Lucario, and Entei. Basically stuff that get extreme speed. Now here I wanted to talk about other notable prominent abilities in almost any ability, and like mons that abuse them. The first one being Protein. Now Protein is insane because it basically gives stab on every move for the user. And notable Pokemon that abuse Protein include stuff like Genesect, Thundurus, Hoopa, Tornadus T, like stuff that have good coverage, good move pulls to abuse the effects of Protein. A new ability that was introduced in Sun and Moon, and that is quite good for glass cannons or glass setup sweepers, is Dazzling or Queenie Majesty. They do the same thing, and this helps stuff like Alakazam, Weavile, and Minior. Like, I don't know what to call that Minior form, but the offensive Minior form basically. It allows them to set up more easily and not fear priority moves, because this ability blocks priority moves on the user. So it helps these Pokemon that are frail but fast to kind of just alleviate a form of counterplay to them, and this could be great in taking down hyper offensive teams. The next ability I want to talk about is great for offensive Pokemon, and its adaptability. Basically, instead of giving 1.5 times for stab, it gives a 2 times boost for stab attacks. So stuff like Latios, Hoopa-U, Tyranitar, stuff with good dual offensive stabs could abuse this ability just to hit so hard and becomes such a pain to take down or to deal with, to wall. Basically, these Pokemon become insane with this ability. The next one is for more defensively inclined Pokemon. and its magic balance basically blocks out status, or like all status moves in general on the user. So stuff like Chansey, Celesteela, Mew could use this ability to kind of act as a good like the hazard kind of check, like they block hazards, which is a great use of this ability, and it's just good on defensive teams in general. This ability to use to kind of just the main use of this ability is just to block out hazards and status as well sometimes. The next ability I want to talk about is Primordial Sea and Desolate Land, basically calling Heavy Rain or Heavy Run respectively, and this could help out stuff like Manaphy or Heatran because hit very hard, and yeah, that's basically it. So just hit hard with their water and fire type attacks being boosted in that weather respectively, so that's good. Other examples, these are like abilities that work specifically on some mons. So for example, Hoopa-Yu could abuse Hustle now on Scarf sets due to Hyperspace Fury not checking accuracy, so it gets 1.5 times boosted attack stat and does not care about like the 0.8 times decrease in accuracy that Hustle has due to Hyperspace Fury, so Hoopa could become such a menace to take down or to wall. Another ability is Triage on Chestnut, and basically Triage gives +3 priority for recovery moves, so stuff like Drain Punch now gains like time +3 recovery priority, +3 priority. So Chestnut can abuse a nice belly drum set with Drain Punch and gain +3 priority with its Drain Punch attack, and could sweep teams with that. Another example includes Normalize Gengar with Skill Swap, so Gengar could skill swap the ability Normalize on the user, usually in tandem with Mean Look to trap them. So, and then the user basically can't hit Gengar anymore due to all its attacks becoming normal type attacks, and obviously Ghost is immune to normal type attacks, so that's a good set. And also the last set I wanted to talk about is Psychic Surge Mega Alakazam. So basically regular Alakazam would call Psychic Surge and then Mega Evolve, and then Psychic Surge boosts the power of Psychic type moves, and this allows, and also blocks priority, so this allows Mega Alakazam to become one of the most scariest mons to actually wall, because really it's almost impossible at times to wall it, but yeah. Now, there's 3 main playstyles to use in almost any ability at the moment, and the most prominent one right now is Stall. Basically, with Fluffy around, Stall becomes quite good due to stuff like Suicune and Chansey becoming great answers to many physical attackers in the metagame. And Stall could also abuse stuff like Magic Bounce Mew and trappers such as Dugtrio, and I forgot to list it here, but also Poison Heal, Perish Trap, Azumarill is also quite good. So yeah, Stall is easily like the best playstyle for me, at least in my playtesting at the moment, just due to some great defensive Pokemon gaining access to great defensive abilities due to the almost any ability mechanic. The next place I want to talk about is offense, which again is quite good as well, with stuff like Genesect, Hoopa-Yu, Weavile, Mega Alakazam, like hard hitters that gain access to like powerful abilities such as like Adaptability, Protein, Tough Claw, stuff like that kind of just boost their power and allows offense to hit harder. And the last playstyle is Balance and Bulky Offense, that could abuse stuff like Regenerator, Magearna, Alolan Marowak, like a Magic Bounce Zapdos, Runaware Zapdos, stuff like that. Like I went over this in my last video, but I'll just repeat it again. Like Balance and Bulky Offense usually has a combination of certain roles. So such an example is this, like it would have like 2 heavy hitters, let's say 2 bulky pivots, and like 2 walls. So it's a combination of that, and in almost any ability there's a lot of those roles that could be taken by many Pokemon, so that's why it's quite good as well. Now, I'm gonna list 2 sample teams in the description box below. There's not many so far due to the meta still being quite fresh. So, the first one is a Psychic Spam team, which is basically offense by Dark Sylveon, and it's quite good. It has many powerful hitters like Mega Alakazam, Adaptability, Terrakion, and Hoopayu, and it's a great team to start off in the meta, as it's quite good at like breaking down defensive teams and stuff like that. And the second team is a stall team that I created. That basically the main focus is with Tapu Fini, a Poison Hail Palm Mine Tapu Fini as the main win con, and using stuff like Dugtrio to trap its answers, and using the Skarbliss core, or sorry, Skarm and Chansey core, and using like pivots such as Zapdos and Megaona to deal with certain threats. So yeah, I will link these 2 teams in the description box, and you could try them out to start off in the meta. Now there's only one resource that I could kind of link right now, and it's just the main discussion thread that you could discuss like cores that you've been testing, suspect discussion, and just like trends that you've been seeing in the metagame. So yeah, that's a resource that you could use. There's no viability rankings yet. I'm not sure when they're gonna come out, but I'll definitely update the description box when they come out and link that down below for you guys. It is a great resource to see what's good and what you should accommodate on your team and what you should not. So yeah. So I would like to thank you guys for watching this video. I had a lot of fun making it. Like, I like making these informative videos. I'm gonna try to see if I could add a poll to this video to see like what metagame you would like for me to talk about next. I think I'm planning on doing, let's say now there's either Balance Hackmons, Monotype, anything goes. I could talk about too. There's even 1v1. I'm not that good in 1v1, but I could kind of like make a video on that, or like Statmons. So just let me know what metagame you would like me to talk about next. I'd like if you could like, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, see you guys in my next video. Bye.